It's 8:06 with Dixon and Vining on this lovely Cinco de Mayo. We have got ourselves a nice day as well, with an 80-degree high today. Tomorrow, around the same, but then rain comes in at night. And you might expect that temperatures will drop because it's a cold front right behind that rain.
How about that? With a high of only like 73 on Thursday?
73.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
That'll feel good.
I can live with that.
Because we'll be complaining about the heat before you know it.
Yeah, I already am. I'm already complaining about the heat.
It's so hot. It's so hot.
And he's sweating and carrying on. It's just awful. This is the worst ever. I don't even moved here. This is the worst state. I'm stupid. Yeah, really nice weather. I mean, we have had, aside from the rainy days, we have had some of the best weather that I can remember in a fortnight. I just wanted to use the term fortnight.
You did.
I should have probably said decade, because it's been about that long since we've had mild days like this. We do have this bad habit in Alabama of going directly from winter to 90. You're like,
But this has been,
there was 10 minutes of spring there. What happened?
We've had kind of a nice balance end of
been
April
fantastic.
and
Yeah.
1st of May where we've had the cool mornings. It's been, it's just been really nice.
I loved every moment of it except the ones I was busy sneezing because of all the allergies.
Yeah, and somehow I just kind of cruised through this year.
Yeah, nobody
I
likes
can't
you.
explain it.
Stop it.
Normally I suffer for 6 weeks.
Everybody hates you
I don't know what the deal
for
is.
that.
Maybe.
How
I don't
dare you
know.
not suffer along with the rest
I
of
don't
us?
know.
Who do you think
Whatever
you
it
are?
was didn't bloom or didn't affect me this year. It's so strange.
You're so lucky.
I got all ready, got my Flonase ready, all my medicine, because I know there's going to be 6 weeks of nothing but sneezing.
And nothing.
And I just
Did
I
not
don't know.
happen.
It's very odd.
You are the chosen one. Congratulations. Hey, Mother's Day is coming up. Contrite Brothers gift baskets and flowers, the easiest, quickest, and most delightful way to say, hey, Mom, love you, care about you, you matter. Whether it be your mom or it be your significant other, who's also a mom, you can absolutely point and click, and it is easy to find exactly. And you know what? Here's one of the things. We always talk about this. You go to for instance, a fast food restaurant, and you look at the pictures on the menu. Or if you were to go, say, order off of one of their apps or order off of one of their websites, and you see the pictures on the menu, and you point and you click, and then you go pick the stuff up. It doesn't look anything like the picture. Contrite Brothers looks either exactly like the picture or, frankly, a little better. A little better, because it's in 3 dimensions. I mean, I have been shocked every time I've ever ordered one of these baskets. When it shows up, it absolutely knocks my eyes out with how exactly like the picture or better it looks. So you're not going to be disappointed, and your loved one is not going to be disappointed when you use ContriBrothers.com. CONTRI, ContriBrothers.com. Fantastic website. Scroll around it, find exactly what Mom will love. Point, click, it's done. It's just that simple. She doesn't need to know it was that simple, by the way. She doesn't need to know that it was that easy. All she needs to know is that you were thinking of her, and then she got a fantastic gift basket and or flowers from Contrite Brothers. ContriBrothers.com, in business in Birmingham for, got to be about 100 years by now. The FBI has arrested a leftist Senate hopeful, a guy who wanted to run for John Fetterman's seat in 28, I believe. 28 or 26? 28. His name is Raymond Chandler III. Raymond Chandler, wasn't he a mystery writer?
Sounds like it.
Is this guy related to?
I doubt it.
You don't think so?
Nah.
I can tell you he's a complete whack job. I ran across this story over the weekend. Pennsylvania man has been federally charged after the FBI said he made graphic death threats against a member of Congress, that member's daughter, and President Donald Trump between April 2025 and January of this year. He allegedly left the first voicemail for the unnamed Congress member on April 18th of 2025. Here's what he said. Sir, I'm calling this morning because I want you to imagine a scenario. I want you to imagine a scenario where all the 1,200 billionaires in this country, all their properties are surrounded simultaneously by 1,000 people. So imagine your house, your daughter's house, everyone you know and love who is also rich. Imagine every single one of those homes being surrounded by 1,000 people. Then imagine them all getting a text and then suddenly taking out their pocket knives, walking slowly toward your house with 10. You got your 10 guards or whatever against 1,000 people. And then they come and they pull you out of your house and they slit your throat and they slit your daughter's throat and they slit everyone's throat. That, you know, sir, is the future. It's not a future I want. It's not a future I'm advocating for. But wealth concentration has gotten so bad in this country. The greed has gotten so bad. People are suffering so much, sir, that is what is your future. You will not escape their wrath We must redistribute the wealth away from people like you.
Whoa, this is a scary individual. What?
Then, on April 29th of 2025, he called the same member of Congress and said this. You're probably getting quite used to my voice, sir. I'm calling this evening because what I want you to do is I want you to take a firearm. I want you to put it in your hand. I want you to walk into the Oval Office. I want you to put that firearm to the president's head, and I want you to pull the trigger, and I want you to kill him. I'm petitioning you, Senator, for redress of grievances. My redress of grievances is that this president is awful. He's a liar among all liars. He's a great deceiver. He's the Antichrist. I want you to walk into the Oval Office with a gun in your hand. I want you to put it to his temple, and I want you to pull the trigger. That is what I want you to do as my agent. That's what I want you to do as my elected official. That's what I am petitioning you to do with my free speech. I want you to kill the president. I want you to assassinate the president. That's what I want you to do. Now, Senator, are you going to come after me? Are you going to try to something me because of my voice and what I said?
Put this guy away.
Yeah.
This is...
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
He's also running on things like abolish ICE, all the usual nonsense that the far lefties believe in, and he's trying to unseat John Fetterman. He's a complete and utter whack job, obviously. Complete and utter whack job. And he needs to go away.
Well, I think the FBI and Secret Service and others have got this one.
Yeah. They're largely
This guy
on
made it really easy. Thank you.
He did.
Appreciate that.
Thanks. The caller ID really helped a lot.
Yeah.
The other thing, though, that gets me about this is it just goes to show how poor our education system is. When he talks about wealth concentration being a problem, that's a sign of a really bad economics education, because he seems to think like there's only X number of dollars available and these people are hoarding them, when in reality, you can always create more dollars. I don't mean print them at the government level. I mean you provide a good or a service for somebody, and the dollars will find their way to you if it's something that people want, something people like, something innovative, something they haven't seen. You know, our economy expanded 2% in the last month, okay? It expanded almost 3% last year. Came very close to expanding 3% last year. Year over year, it expanded 2% last month. That wasn't a question of printing more money. That was the economy growing and becoming bigger. That's how it works. I'll give you a perfect example. Before the iPod was invented, nobody knew they needed it or wanted it. Nobody was clamoring for the iPod, you know? Mm-hmm. Nobody's like, where's the solid-state device on which I can hold thousands of songs and listen to personally while I'm jogging or working out or just hanging around the house? Where is that? I need that in my life. No, Steve Jobs made the thing. Then he went out and persuaded people, you got to try this. Mm-hmm. And aside from the groovy
and then
commercials,
persuaded them that they needed it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, once you tried it, you felt like you had to have it, you know? Yeah. And the economy expanded to allow for this new thing that had never existed on the planet before. Elon Musk did it with Tesla, although it did exist before he bought into it. He certainly expanded the operation. He's doing it now with the Boring Company, where they're digging tunnels at a breakneck clip that people didn't know that they needed or wanted. It's not that there's one pie and they're taking most of it. It's that there's as many pies as you want to bake. Get in the kitchen and start baking pies and shut up about how unhappy you are that guy's got more pie than you. You suck.
Yeah, it seems like he doesn't understand that.
No.
Based on what he has said.
He does not understand that he sucks. He does not understand it.
Well, he's sitting on the porch in a pair of suspenders.
Yeah. That should be a
no
tip-off
offense
right
to those
there.
of you that wear suspenders.
No, Larry King,
but
you're
I
fine.
mean, he's got a polo shirt on with his suspenders, and I'm like, dude.
So what's worse, him in the suspenders or John Fetterman wearing the hoodie all the time?
Yeah. John's made a turn. I don't know. I think for a lot of people, we were like, this guy is a whack job. And slowly but surely, he's turned it around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not on everything, but on some. And I don't know why he's glomming on to that hoodie. I don't know what it is.
No, but he's got a few concepts there. And look, we could use a lot more Democrats like him. A lot more. We could use more Democrats who are willing to say, you're right, men and women's sports is a stupid idea. We need more Democrats who say, Israel is our ally, and we need to be supporting and defending them, and Islam is not our ally. and they really would like to come in here and take over.
Well,
I mean,
here's the difference: is Fetterman, he knows what's common sense and will say that this is common. This just is common sense. Whereas there are Democrats that see it, they know it's common sense,
Yep.
but if it involves Donald Trump, it no longer is common sense, and they will buck you at every corner
Yep.
not to go along with it. Fetterman says, no, this is common sense. We're going along with it. This is how this goes. There are other Democrats that will never do that. It doesn't matter what you say. If you say this guy is black,
yeah.
they'll be like, oh, no, it's not black.
Don't know what you're
It's
talking about.
purple. It's
Yeah.
not black.
How dare you? Yeah, and he's the only Democrat right now in Congress who is in favor of the Iran war, who's saying, like, this was a good idea. 47 years they've been killing Americans all over the globe. 47 years they've been, working on this nuclear weapon and threatening to kill us and threatening to kill Israel. I think it's a good idea that we go in there and we stop them from getting that. Okay. But he's the only Democrat who's willing to say that. So, yeah, he can keep the hoodie as far as I'm concerned. 816 with Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, Flipsy's Furniture. Has two locations. One is in Hoover, right across from the Galleria, next to 2nd and Charles on Highway 31. The thing about Flipsy's Furniture in Hoover is that it's a Hoover-centric store. Look, a lot of the houses in Hoover are, Hoover expanded very rapidly. So they all are from around the same era. That's different from Birmingham proper. I lived in a house in Birmingham that was built in 1914. I'm living in one now that was built in 1970 and expanded in 1990. I have lived in houses in the Birmingham metro area that were built in the 50s. They all called for different kinds of furniture. Hoover kind of all calls for the same kind of, not the same I don't want to be exactly the same, don't get me wrong, but just sort of the same style. And so they have a lot of that kind of furniture at the Hoover location. It's Hoover-centric is what I mean. So when you go shopping for furniture, you can shop around at any of the other Hoover furniture stores, but don't buy anything until you've set foot in Flipsy's. You see their beautiful selection, and you find out how much less expensive it is. Get the white glove delivery. Get the 12 months same as cash. It's all right there at Flipsy's Furniture. Two locations. Yes, the Hoover location, Highway 31, directly across from the Galleria, and next to 2nd and Charles, or also in Irondale. Right there, 28,000 square feet of showroom. Really nice place. Crestwood Boulevard. Stop by. Either location, tell them I sent you. There he is. Cinco de Mayo. Hey, burrito. It's 8:22. Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. A little Santa now for you there. He brings presents to good little Mexican boys and girls on Cinco de Mayo.
Something like that.
I believe that's how it works.
Somebody requested the Frito Bandito song, the commercial.
All right, Steve.
Go to YouTube.
Ay, 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 ay.
Maybe they don't have access to YouTube, or maybe they're watching us on YouTube.
Bandito.
In which case, you should be breaking it out, mister.
Oh, should I?
All right, you do what you want as usual. Like we could control you. He's a wild man. Just ask Karen. Anyway, it's Dixon and Vining on Talk 99.5.
That's private. We don't need to know those things.
Sorry about that.
Yes, we don't. All right, rain is coming. David Fevet and the guys at Be Dry go, oh, yes, here comes the rain. Wednesday night into Thursday. It can be a serious problem if you have a home right now in central Alabama, and when it does rain, you find that water somehow makes it into places of your home that it shouldn't be. Maybe it's a place that you don't know about, but you got that musty smell in the basement. Mildew on the walls of the basement. You're like, well, what's going on here? Why is this happening? Well, it could be the crawl space where water is coming into your home. And again, a lot of that is found out after a good hard rain. We're going to get that. If you've dealt with this in the past and you've kind of put this off, don't do it anymore. Just ask for a free quote to kind of get an idea of what they will do. And more than likely, if you have a crawl space with water in it, they will get the water out of there, encapsulate those areas so that you don't deal with water issues anymore. And you don't have to worry about the air quality either. David and the guys at Be Dry will explain everything, talk with you about the process, figure out a time that's convenient for you to get everything done. Ask for the free quote. That's really the best way to get the ball rolling. 205-942-1976. A company that's been in business over 65 years. Man, you can feel good about that. They know what they are doing. They know how to resolve these problems, and the pros at Be Dry happy to help you with this. Cracking in the foundation, yes, and the strongest lifetime warranty in the business. This is serious, folks. If you have that lifetime warranty, you have no worries going forward. Absolutely none. And you can get that from Be Dry. Ask them about the budget-friendly solutions they've got, like 12 months interest-free and no payments. Again, the number, 942-1976, or certainly look them up online and get them out to your house today. BeDryAlabama.com.
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
All right, we have discussed what's going on in Iran. We have discussed, a good bit of, the federal judge apologizing to the would-be assassin of President Trump, et cetera, et cetera. Let's touch on a couple of things we haven't addressed yet today, like the Department of Justice planning to settle the AgriStats case. What they're claiming here is that there was some kind of collusion, mostly in the foreign meat industry, chicken, pork, and turkey, and that they were colluding to keep prices high. Somebody must have got wind of this. Somebody somewhere got a handle on some evidence, because this is not something that you just randomly claim from out of nowhere. Consequently, you have got some witnesses. You've got some folks that are apparently willing to testify, and you've got Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, who says, guys, there's going to be prosecution, or, hear me out, we could reach a settlement and you guys could give us a bunch of money and lower the price of all your stuff. And it sounds like that's the way they're leaning right now.
I think they may be wise to do that if indeed this is what's been going on. Mm-hmm. Work the deal, figure out the deal, because the alternative, you don't want to go down that road.
Yeah.
So maybe this explains why prices have been really high.
It could explain it. Now, the one thing that's left out of this is, interestingly, beef, which is where it's been like the highest.
Mm-hmm,
it's been crazy. I did see some pretty low prices at Aldi the other day when I was there. I mean, pretty low is a relative term nowadays when it comes to beef, but I was kind of like, my God, these aren't awful. Should I buy some of this?
These aren't awful.
No, I don't need to buy. I don't need beef right now. I'm not going to buy any, so I didn't. I might regret that later. We are facing severe weather tomorrow night and into Thursday, and we're talking about overnight storms. Now, the risk level here is 2. That means there is a light chance of there being some kind of pop-up tornado.
2 out of 5.
Yeah,
is
2
what
out
we're
of
looking
5,
at.
exactly. 5 is the worst, and 1 is the best. And so we're at 2, which doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It means that there is a better chance than, say, the people in the 1 zone that it is going to happen. But at the very least, you might see some hail. You know, it's possible that happens. Certainly thunder and lightning are a possibility as well, and high winds. That always worries me. High winds sometimes are the things that we don't take as seriously as we should.
And they'll pull down trees.
Yeah, those trees come down, they cross roads. It's difficult to get from point A to point B. A couple of weeks ago, when I was having band practice on a Sunday, everybody called me and said, I'm going to be late. There's a tree blocking this road. And the interesting thing is, they weren't all on the same road.
That's a lot of trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially when you get, we've already had a pretty good soaking last weekend. And sometimes when you have the ground that's a little bit saturated, then you get the high winds, then you begin to have trees coming down. So that's, you know, again, still a little bit dry in the state, but that might have a little something to do with it. But anytime you have straight line winds, that can just pull down power poles and trees and things like that, and just a little bit of a risk of pop-up tornadoes. So it's something to seriously watch. This is going to be a kind of an overnight deal, which is always kind of scary because you don't want that. Not tonight. Tomorrow night. 11:30, 11 o'clock at night till 4 or 5 in the morning. Somewhere in that is our window.
About the time we're driving. Yay.
Yeah, y'all be be weather alert tomorrow.
You have to be weather alert.
I don't want to be aware.
Okay.
I'm going away from that.
The world needs more alerts.
Alert.
Be alert. The world
Alert.
needs more alert. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche says that the James Comey indictment is not just the Instagram post of the shells. He says it goes well beyond that. They have evidence of all kinds. The grand jury who indicted him says they got a body of evidence thrown in front of them, including witnesses and documents, saying all of this had to do with a criminal threat against the president. Okay.
Yeah, that does make sense, because when we were looking at it, what the shells on the beach, we were like, that seems a little petty, and they may not get very far with this. But obviously, there's a whole lot more to this than just the shells on the beach.
Blanche says you prove intent like you always prove intent. Prove intent with witnesses. You prove intent with documents and materials. Not just about a single Instagram post. This is about a body of evidence that the grand jury collected over the series of about 11 months. Okay.
So they might nail him. They might get him.
We'll see. I will withhold judgment until I see what his evidence is, because right now it looks like a bad Martha Stewart project.
I don't know. There may be things there we don't know about.
Oh, I guarantee there's things that we don't know about. Let's find out how they are. 8:30, Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Everybody sing. Come on. You know the words. Sure. 8:35, Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, Talk and 99.5.com on this Cinco de Mayo. Appreciate you tuning in. We do 13 hours of live and local programming every weekday here, starting with us and then handing things off to Skippy. A lot of times we don't hand it. He has to actually come in and take it from us. And then...
That's a scene to behold
It is,
every
yes.
morning.
And then you got Leland Live, and then, of course, Breaking Bread with the Chub Father. See the Chub Father on ABC 3340?
I
this
did.
morning?
Boy, he got a lot of airtime.
Well,
Way to go.
DoorDash was not paying him. There was some mix-up there.
Yeah.
So I don't know how all that works because I've never used DoorDash in my life. But
Well, good for you,
apparently
Richard.
they're supposed to be paying him from the food and whatever, and 3 weeks he didn't get it.
That's not good.
He had to put a post on
Listen.
social media and said, look, if they don't pay us soon, then we're going to stop doing business with them. And so that got their attention.
Oh, it sure did.
Suddenly they were like, oh,
Squeaky
well,
wheel
maybe
got
we
a little oil there.
Yeah, grease. You know, like a lot of stuff at Chub Father's, very greasy. I'm kidding.
Grease.
It's delicious.
Oil.
Delicious
Whatever.
grease. Yum.
Yeah, it is very good.
Work Trucks is downtown at 2324 3rd Avenue South. If you're looking for a truck for your business, these are the guys you want to get in touch with. They bring them in from all over the country, put them through a 125-point inspection, paint them white so they're ready for your logo. All right, they don't paint them. Somebody else paints them. They've had enough people call up and go, could you paint my car? They're like, we're not in the painting business. We don't do that. But they do have a service center right across the street, and they do fix vehicles. Even if you didn't buy it there, they'll be happy to work on yours. That's Work Trucks with an X, LLC.com. Trade, finance, get an extended warranty, or just buy one of their fantastic vehicles at great low prices. That's what they do at Work Trucks, the Southeast #1 pre-owned work truck dealer, 2324 3rd Avenue South. Joining us now on the phone line where we interview people, it is Catherine Robertson. She would like to be the next Attorney General of the state of Alabama, at least the Republican nominee for such, which is why she's on our phone line right now. Greetings, Catherine. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. How are y'all?
We're as well as can be expected. All right, we're divine, actually.
Yeah, on this lovely day.
You have worked with a lot of people who we have spoken to a great deal. You've been kind of a woman behind the scenes. You worked with Jeff Sessions for a while, a truly great man, a great interview, one of our favorite elected officials here, and obviously Steve Marshall for quite some time here. My question for you is, which one did you like better? No, I'm just kidding. I don't.
Don't make her do that.
Come on. I also worked for Luther Strange, and I also worked for Gary Palmer. So
Oh, wow.
I've got a long list to choose from. But definitely been with Steve the longest, a decade of serving together, and so obviously we're tight.
Well, he thinks a lot of you. He thinks very highly of you and is fearless about recommending you for the position, which is nice to see in this day and age when people are like, I want to stay out of it. Here's another
You're
tough.
right.
Yeah.
You're right about that. Thanks for mentioning that. I mean, I think that, normally politicians don't get involved in other politicians' races, but I think when you've been in the foxhole together the way that we have over the last 10 years, I mean, it meant so much to me, and I would not be in this race, if I didn't have his support. So I'm super grateful.
Well, Catherine, tell us a little bit about yourself for those that may not be familiar with you. You've got ties to both Auburn University and the University of Alabama, your family. Give us a little bit of background of what you've done and a little bit about you and your family.
Absolutely. So I'm a 8th generation Dallas County girl, come from a long line of farmers. Grew up in Selma, so small town, went to Auburn, went to Alabama for law school, and began my career 20 years ago at the United States Justice Department, which really kind of was the spark that led to, what my career looked like after that. I worked for Senator Jeff Sessions on the Senate Judiciary Committee, which was my first taste of, criminal justice policy and that kind of thing, which I loved. Got married to my husband, who's from Auburn. We moved back to Alabama, and I joined the Alabama Policy Institute, which is where I kind of learned the ins and outs of state fiscal policy and budgets and all that, and it's a great experience. I was hired by the AG's office 10 years ago. I served as chief counsel ever since then, and in the over the course of that 10 years, had my 2 children, have an 8-year-old son and a 5-year-old daughter.
Twins, nice. So tell me this. Do you have political aspirations beyond this? I know that that's an unfair question because you're like, let's take this one race at a time, Richard. But, I mean, could you
It's-
ever see
it's
yourself
not
as
an
governor?
It's not an unfair question. No, I want to be Attorney General, and if I have the honor of serving as Attorney General, the best thing I can do is have the next Attorney General trained up and ready to go. I think this is such a different job from typical political positions. I think it ought to attract different kinds of candidates, and I'm doing this solely because of my qualifications for the office and just for the passion that I have for the work of the office. So no, I do not see this as a stepping stone. I don't desire it to be one. I just want to be the best Attorney General we've ever had because I have such an advantage with 10 years of training.
Yeah, one of the main issues and one of the things that you talked about, and I'd love to hear that, you're passionate about it, was all of this talk over the last couple of years about men and women's sports, and you have a daughter. It's one of those things that you said, we need to fight really hard and fight back on this, and we're seeing kind of the turnaround. Talk to us a little bit about your take on no men and women's sports or locker rooms for that matter.
Yeah, well, I mean, we started having this conversation because Biden, when he was president, within his first 100 days, put out an executive order that would he tried to change the meaning of the term sex and gender all throughout the federal government. And of course, that eventually snowballed into this Title IX debate. And he knew that the girls' sports thing was a bad issue for Democrats, but he let it snowball out of control anyway. And it was almost like they couldn't stop it. And our state, in the meantime, passed a law prohibiting that. And very recently we had West Virginia and Idaho's case go up to the United States Supreme Court. So all that to say, I mean, I had the privilege of speaking the day that case was up at the court, and I just said, look, Alabamians have always had an enormous amount of common sense. We prohibited this before it actually became a problem, but it's just one of those things where, we got so caught up in the politics of the time during the Biden administration, not our state, but our nation, that we just lost track of just basic common sense. And so here we are still having to fight it, even though we have a friendly president in the White House. And just something that I'm passionate about. My take on it is that you do not give ideas like that an inch. You snuff that out wherever you see the first hint of it. And I think we've done that really well as a state.
We're chatting with, by the way, Catherine Robertson, who was one of the candidates for Republican nomination for Attorney General. May 19th, 2 weeks from today, by the way, is primary day. Would love to see more people actually get involved, pay attention. We always have such a stinking low turnout on primary day, and I don't know why. A lot of times you're picking the person who's going to have the job. If you don't get involved, then you don't get a right to complain later, in my opinion. So tell me this. What do you think is the biggest legal issue facing the state of Alabama today? Is it this redistricting thing?
Yeah, well, if we're talking about today, then yes. Redistricting is the biggest thing we've got going on right now. We're going to be announcing some progress on that today. Obviously, the legislature's in session doing their part. But it fits into a bigger piece of a puzzle, which I would say is the general biggest issue facing the state of Alabama, and that is the fact that we are still under the thumb of the federal government in a lot of ways that we shouldn't be. Congressional maps are one of those ways. I've been talking a lot about the desegregation orders that many of our public schools are still under from the 60s and 70s. There are lots of ways that the federal government still has the state of Alabama over a barrel. And I've been very outspoken about reclaiming our state sovereignty, and I actually think this election is going to come at a very critical time because we're going to have 2 years left of the Trump administration, 2 years left of the Trump DOJ, and I want the opportunity to get in there and finish some unfinished business that we've been pursuing for a long time. But reclaiming as much of our state sovereignty as we can while we have a friendly president in the White House, to me, is the biggest opportunity and the biggest challenge that we have ahead of us.
The other thing you just mentioned, we were talking about the redistricting and some of the segregation things that are happening in our schools. The other big story that's happened in our state, and I'd love to hear your take on it all, is the DOJ unfolding all this that happened with the SPLC and the 11 counts of wire fraud. Talk to us about that case and what you know.
Yeah, so, the SPLC is across the street from our office. We have gone toe-to-toe with them for years over a variety of issues. DOJ obviously had some great tools at their disposal and was able to get some indictments. And I think you're going to see the states have a reaction to that. There's a lot of conversation about claims that we might have. I think you're going to see more on that in the coming weeks. But I don't think any of that came as a big surprise to people in Alabama. I've worked pretty up close with the SPLC, not with them, but against them over the last couple of years. And it definitely reeked of sort of fighting a straw man, adding everybody to this hate group list. We have fought that for years alongside Alliance Defending Freedom and other groups. And, it was time. It was time for them to be exposed. A lot of these leftist groups are all about generating funds, and you do that by always having a crisis. And so I'm glad to see this unravel, and I think you're going to see more of it coming from the states.
Yeah, it's fascinating to me because having lived in Montgomery and having lived in the state of Alabama for most of my adult life, there did come a time and you go, you know what, you guys, you've outlived your usefulness. What you did was great. It might be time to close the doors. Nope. Just going to try to keep going. And if we have to manufacture hate, by God, we'll do it if that's what it takes to keep the funds
It's a
coming.
money-making machine. It's a money-making machine, and that's why you have to have your eyes wide open with those groups. I tweeted something a few weeks ago. I said, look, a lot of these groups spend a lot of time at the supermajority Republican state house, and every now and then they squeak out a win that may look harmless, but they turn around and fundraise off of it. And I think we should shut that down absolutely, completely in Alabama for any leftist group to ever get a win out of our legislature.
One of the issues that we really haven't been faced much with in the state of Alabama is these ICE protests. I know that there have been a couple, but for the most part, we in Alabama are sort of fans of the whole, if they're not supposed to be here, let's get them out of here, and then let's bring them back in the right way, assuming that they want to come back and that's a possibility. Do you see this becoming a larger issue as time goes by? It seems like it only flares up in very blue states like Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't think we have much to worry about here in the way of protests. I mean, you're going to have one-off people here and there who are disrespectful, but I think by and large, Alabamians appreciate what they're doing. Our office has had a great relationship with ICE ever since President Trump came back into office. We have really forged a friendship there and have talked to them a lot about things that our state could do better. One of the things we've actually been discussing with them is, of course, we want the priority to be, violent illegal immigrants who are here. And if they're violent, they've most likely had a run-in with our own justice system and our own correctional facilities. And so we want to make sure we're doing a very good job of facilitating cooperation between our prisons and ICE. And that's something that I think we've got more work to do there, but it's something that I think will help. Thankfully, Alabama is not overrun with violent illegals, but even one is one too many. And so we want to make sure we're doing everything we can to make sure that there's total cooperation and that it's efficient.
Yeah, we're speaking with Catherine Robertson, running for Attorney General, the current position held by Steve Marshall. Catherine, we can't thank you enough for taking a couple of minutes to come on with us and talk a little bit about your run and learning a little bit more about you and the issues that are important to you. We appreciate it so much.
Now, if you win on the primary, then you move on to the bonus round and we have you back. And you, I think
got a deal. I'll come back anytime.
That'd be great. You'll be playing for a brand new car. Marvelous, Catherine. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful rest of your day and good luck with the campaign.
Thanks, guys. Great talking with you.
All right,
Thank you.
take care.
Same to you.
Catherine Robertson, currently the assistant
Pretty sharp.
Attorney General.
Pretty sharp.
Oh, no question about it. She's been at it for a really long time, and she is what one might be able to point to and say, oh, well, that's kind of an establishment candidate, isn't it? That she's been there the whole time.
Well,
sometimes being in the establishment means you've learned the ropes, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Everyone has to make up their own mind.
Yeah,
We're not here to push one over the other.
And the list of people that she's worked with, obviously, there's a lot of experience in her background and what she's done with working with Gary Palmer and Luther and A.G. Marshall and Sessions.
Out of that, who's the thumb in that lineup? Luther Strange.
The thumb.
Luther Strange. Vote for Luther. He's tall.
Yeah.
8:50 our time with Dixon and Vining. Some of your texts coming up next. BOA. Black Oak, Arkansas. 8:53, Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Thanks for hanging out with us on this beautiful Cinco de Mayo. We have got to welcome a new sponsor. I was supposed to run in the commercial break there, but we missed it somehow. So let's just, we'll go ahead and we'll spotlight this particular new sponsor that is taking to our airwaves now.
Hello, friends. I'm Ralph Retread from Ralph's Reasonable Reused Rides. And we're having a Cinco de Mayo sale. Buy a car, and we give you, free of charge, 5 jars of mayonnaise. And boy, oh boy, do we have a great selection on our lot. We have lots on our lot. Kraft, Dukes, Blue Plate, and Hellman. We got Hellmans. Oh, we got a lot of cars, too. You can see the USA in a Chevrolet or Yugo in a Yugo. And if cars are too slow for you, we've just received a shipment of slightly used jet aircraft. Planes of all sizes, going at a huge discount. All a beautiful yellow. And many still have pilots and flight attendants aboard at no extra charge. Just feed them every once in a while and they'll be happy. The Cinco de Mayo sale, where you can drive a with lots of mayo.
Yeah, I'm going to rush right over there.
Oh,
Spirit Airlines.
get there as quick as you can.
Very nice. Dave Texas says Frito Bandito was a Tex Avery cartoon character. Mel Blanc did the voice. Yes, that is correct. Frito Bandito.
Yum, the frito bandito.
Frito.
And
Love
Speedy
good.
Gonzalez.
He also did Speedy Gonzalez. Well, you remember Speedy Gonzalez's cousin, Slowpoke Rodriguez.
I love
Yeah,
Slowpoke.
I do remember him, yeah.
He always talked like this,
Like he was high.
very slow. Kathy says, can someone please get the whistle out of Dixon's microphone? The whistle?
What
Is there's a,
I
there's
don't
a
hear
whistle?
a whistle.
You don't hear a whistle? Whistle in my microphone? The whistle is in my mouth, Kathy.
He can't help it.
Yeah, it happened years ago. I was changing out a light fixture in my house. Literally, this was the year 2000.
And you got electrocuted?
No.
No.
Fell down.
I was trying to remove this this structure. Amazingly, this house had 0 electrical boxes. Like, how did this place not burn down already? Had knob and tube wiring, and they just had these ceiling fans attached to the ceiling with screws into like the wooden joists, and no electrical box in there at all. I was like, okay, we're going to fix that.
Yeah.
That's number one. We're fixing that. But while I was in the process of removing a plate that was very, very difficult to get off, it suddenly decided to dislodge and hit me right in the mouth. And it took off about an eighth of an inch of my left front tooth,
No kidding.
which I did not feel at all, but I suddenly started talking with a whistle at that point. And I've had it ever since.
Yeah, so you can't make fun, Kathy.
I'm
you got to leave him
oh,
alone.
go ahead. Knock yourself out.
He can't help it.
Jeff Joke of the Day.
Yes.
My friend that stutters was just sent to prison. I'm afraid he's not going to be able to finish his sentence. That's the second sentence joke you've done in like 2 weeks, Jeff. That's
Wordplay.
yeah, that's not good.
Again.
You can't. No.
Wow, he didn't get anything on that. Nothing from
You
Steve?
get nothing.
Nothing? No
Bupkis,
crickets?
baby.
No
Bupkis.
nothing?
Bupkis.
Wow.
Sean says, I'm sitting here listening to this candidate for Attorney General, and I missed what party she represented. Then she mentioned something about common sense, and I thought, oh, she's a Republican. Democrats have no concept of common sense. She can win just by saying common sense everywhere she goes. Brilliant.
That's right.
Common sense, common sense.
Yep.
It's all about the common
Catherine Robertson
sense.
was her name. Running for Attorney General.
Yeah, very good. Let me see. What do we got here? Wayne Richard probably eats more hog intestines than he realizes. In the meat industry, they're referred to as casings. Used often in production of certain sausages, Richard had to vacate any dwelling where those revolting things were being boiled, fried, served with eggs. Ugh. Talking about chitlins.
No.
You
The
know.
smell alone will just, oh.
Who among us can resist playing the Frito Bandito commercial song from the 60s today? The answer to that question is Steve. He can resist. He's resisting very well. He's resisted so far. I bet he can resist some more.
For at least another hour.
Richard says, heard Catherine Robertson, I threw up in my mouth. Well, thank you for not throwing up at the car. I'm sure the people, the rideshare people you're picking up, appreciate that.
Might want to get some mouthwash, too.
You had to watch out for Slowpoke Rodriguez. He packed a pistol.
And nowadays it wouldn't be, politically correct.
Yeah.
For some.
It's,
For some.
It's really, I remember even years and years and years ago, I was telling my daughter about how there used to be this cartoon called Speedy Gonzales. She was probably 8 or 9, old enough to understand what I was saying, but young enough to still enjoy cartoons.
Yeah.
I said there was this entire thing. I said it was really, I won't say it was a racist, but I would say that it played a lot of cliches up, that Mexican people were sleepy and slow, and that, here you had this version of him that, andale, andale.
Or needed a nap after lunch.
Always needed a nap after lunch because they do
Had to
have,
take a
they do
siesta.
siestas and things
Yeah.
like that. Well, one day we're on vacation. We're in another city. We're staying in a hotel for some reason. And I just mindlessly turn on cartoons in the morning and boom, there it is. I was, oh my God,
There's
Crystal,
Speedy.
Crystal, you got to come see this. I remember this. I told you about this. She's like, yeah. She goes, it's not that funny, Dad.
Wasn't impressed.
No,
All that excitement for nothing.
I loved me.
Be
Loved
that
me.
way.
Some Speedy Gonzales. That was one of my favorites.
Yeah, it was good.
I also liked Thuffer and Puckatash.
Really good. Be careful what you say, though.
Mm-hmm. Sylvester the cat. And Tweety Bird. I did see a putty tat.
I did.
9 o'clock with Dixon Dividing on Talk 99.5 and Talk995.com. Our producer, Steve, deserves a turn, and every once in a while he gets one.
It's coming up.
Usually it's in the 9 o'clock hour. Stick around.